Welcome back to Flying So 6. Today I have a very quick unboxing here for Gloomhaven Bugs and Buttons. This is a really condensed solo version of Gloomhaven. Just look at this tiny little box. It's just crazy. I got this actually, man, almost 2 months ago, but we've been so busy with all the Tenaris content and everything. I didn't get to it yet, but I am now going to unbox it. I've actually been wanting to play this for a while, just like at work or something, just to see what it's like, you know, it's something you're going to just take with you, right? That's the idea. In fact, when I first got this, I was in Phoenix, and I considered opening it up to play on the airplane going home, but I decided I wanted to do an unboxing video, so we're going to do this instead. Alright, so this is, of course, another game from Cephalofair, which, of course, you guys know for Gloomhaven, Frosthaven, all that good stuff. Alright, so they have a Learn to Play booklet right here. It also has the dies tutorial. I actually got to talk with that team. Super great group of guys there, making a pretty awesome app that does a lot of tutorials to kind of give you the basic understanding and get you playing games a lot quicker. They have a pretty cool system for how they build it as well. I don't know if I'll go into detail about that, but anyway, it's pretty cool. So they say, like, right at the beginning, skip the rule book, play alongside the interactive tutorial, but it does have basically all the steps you're gonna have here. So you got your getting started, the character setup, going into the scenario setup where you're gonna lay out the different cards for that. You're gonna play the scenario. There's a bunch of different monster modifiers and things. So Gloomhaven Bugs and Buttons is a much different version. It has a lot of similarities to the original game, but it's in a more condensed way. So look, this is the cute little baggie of the super mini miniatures. And by the way, the price of this thing is just fantastic. I mean, 20 bucks for this, like, okay, so this one right here looks like our Tinker. Let's see if you can see it right there. He is so tiny, like the size of a fingernail. So I'm gonna put him down. You won't even be able to see him on screen. He's so small. We have, I think this is the Mind Thief right here. Trying to get it in there. Yeah, it's still kind of hard. Also very similar, so they're just super duper tiny. We have the Brute character here. Man, it's like when I bring it up, they can see it. All right, there we go. We have the Cragheart right there. These are just so freaking tiny. I definitely would keep these in that little plastic bag or something because these are so small they'd get lost so easily. This one I don't know if I recognize. Maybe it's the rogue character. I forget what it's called now, but it has two little blades. These guys are so tiny that, yeah, I mean, it's almost, you know, when they're this small, it can be a little hard to even tell, you know, like if you had it out, like what piece you are, but I think you're only ever going to play with one. This one's the, I think the Spellweaver is what it's called. It's been a long time. Actually, I used to play Gloomhaven a lot more, but it's been quite some time since I played, so I don't remember, you know, every name of the classes. I probably should, but it has been a while. So we got a bunch of the HP and tracker dials. They're actually pretty small. Let's see, they go all the way up to, looks like 18. So there's like this villain, like some kind of villain tracker one. It's got like a skull on it. It says number 4. So maybe there's multiple of these. Yeah, exactly. So this is tracker 4, tracker 3, tracker 1, and then the health tracker. So health tracker, and then you can see, for example, like here's one of the villains, but number 3 or like number 1. Although these colors are kind of hard to see probably even on the camera or even a little further away. It may have been a little better if they would have used like a contrasting color with the the dial. So it's like a dark red with like a blackish or grayish, like, I don't know, color for the symbol. So, I mean, it probably actually, looking at the camera, it looks like you can see it pretty good here. But if I have it like out here, it's a little harder to see. They probably could have made it, you know, improved a little bit more in that aspect. We get our modifier die. So how this one works is basically you're just going to roll a die, and it's going to tell you, are you getting the plus side modifier or the negative side modifier, or I think the 0, something like that. And instead of like pulling cards, because that was one of the issues with Gloomhaven, you need that entire deck of modifier cards. I think you still do get modifier type stuff in here, but instead it will be, you're not building like an entire deck like you were before. All right, so this looks like, I think it is the attacks. Whoops, drop some there. Some attacks here, and they're actually double-sided, so very much like the Gloomhaven, actually, sorry, the Frosthaven cards, because they moved to like this new system. For example, here, right, this is like the new notation that they use in the game. There we go. The new notation in the game, so that way you can, you know, more quickly read, and there's less words to get confused by. Now, personally, when I've, you know, played before, is it takes a little bit of time to like get back into what everything means, but I don't think it's that complicated. It'd probably take me like, you know, probably less than one session, maybe just one session, and I'd be, you know, back to doing it again. I'm trying to see, so there's a bunch of level 1s. These are double-sided cards, so there's an A and B side to these cards. So you can just kind of see, right, on both sides. And I think the idea is like you flip over the card once you've used one of them, and then if you use it again, I think it's maybe lost, but I'm trying to figure, oh, okay, all right, the symbol's here at the bottom. So look real quick again at the bottom. This is the Spellweaver symbol. And we got the Tinker symbol down there. And yep, then we have, well, I'm not gonna go through each one, but we have the Mind Thief, the Crag Heart, and oh, I think that's it. So, interesting. So I wonder if there's another deck here. Oh, that is, oh, here it is. Here it is. It's this deck. So then there's a second deck in here for the other characters. I was like, this doesn't seem like all of them. So yes, we have the, oh man, I am forgetting the name now. It's actually one of the ones that I don't think I did play. But if you recognize the symbol, right, with like the daggers here at the bottom, it's that one. And I'm sure somebody in the comments can definitely correct me. The Brute there. So yeah, there we go. So we got 6 classes, which I think is the exact same 6 classes from Gloomhaven, just smaller. And then now we have, let's see. Oh, okay. I see what this is. So this is the progression tree. So let's look at the Crag Heart, for example. So there's like a level 2 side, it looks like. And as you level up, your modifier table will change. So if you look, I'm trying to remember if it's on the left side or the right side, but somehow you will like basically get the modifier depending on what you roll. And then you progress down the sheet. Now, plenty of people have learn to plays, and of course there's the dice tutorial, so you probably shouldn't learn from me on this. I'm just excited to actually get to try this game. So this looks really cool. I like this idea that it's only just, like, for example, the Crag Heart here is only 2 cards. And so I guess at level 1, there's probably like a starting 1 or something like that, and then you have a level 2, level 3, level 4, and then level 5 is like the highest level. We have ones for all the other classes: Mind Thief, Tinker, Spellweaver, whatever the rogue one is I'm forgetting now, the Brute. And then we also have the initiative cards here. It looks like it's just for enemies. So there's different difficulty levels in this one. So you got the very easy, you got the easy, you got the hard, and then the very hard side. So you can kind of change up your difficulty depending on, you know, how you're doing with the game. And then I think this last part here is basically just like the different villains. And so this will be the same kind of thing where you have, let's see, trying to find one that is probably the easiest to understand. Let's see, so there's a mouse. And so they'll be like, what does it do when it's, I think, oh man, I really want to remember. I feel like for some reason that this is like the minus side, this is the neutral side, and this is like the plus side or something like that. And then it will get different attacks basically that it'll do depending on what you dice roll. This is really cool because these are mini hero cards, so they're really small. The design of this game is very smart. I really like what they did, where they're able to simplify so many of their components into a very small deck. Some spinners. Oh, I guess I forgot the cubes. Okay, the cubes, I think this is what you use for like tracking down the cards, because you'll move down that list over time. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then there's a blue, purple, green, and red cube. I don't really remember what those are for at the moment. All right, so here I pulled out another deck here. And then underneath that was these. So it looks like we have the, this looks like your hero mat here, which I think when you start out, yeah, here it is. So the idea is, let's see if I can get the card correctly. So I guess at level 1, you would just use what's written here, right? So if you roll the negative, then you'll take the modifier in this column. If you roll the neutral, you'll be here, and if you're in the plus, you'll be here as you move through the rounds. Then as you kind of get further along, you'll be able to level up, improve your thing by slipping a card in there. And then I think this is like the combat tracker here that you'll use like a cube to track that. So that's that, and then it looks like the villains have their own as well. And then you'll see that I think you slip one. So we showed earlier, right? You want the standard experience. You just use this one. If you're like, no, that's too hard, I want the easy, then you put this guy in. Let's say you're going against this demon prince, because I sure hope you're not fighting a demon prince on very easy, but looks like it just kind of slides in there like that. So very simple components, real smartly thought out there. And so we got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, because there's 4 possible enemies I think you can have at any one time. Then the modifier table, and looks like these are some token punch outs. So then you can have your conditions there. So we can just punch those puppies out. And last thing is there is a deck of character cards here, and I think a reference card. So one of the things I had heard people complained about this version was just that it just has like a learn to play, but it doesn't actually have like a rule book. So, you know, maybe if you know absolutely nothing about Gloomhaven, you may be potentially a little overwhelmed. Like I said, I think that Dives tutorial is probably a good solution for you if you're that kind of person. And it's not like a separate app. You can just use the browser and have all that there. So yeah, this is the character card there, so it actually kind of looks like the one that you have when you play actually Gloomhaven. You have your conditions, you have your discard, your lost, your active, and your items down there. And then on the back side, interesting, so it has like ability cards that it mentions on here. So it says like level 1 to level 2. Kinetic Assault to Lumbering Bash, Dirt Tornado to Cataclysm, Explosive Punch to Rocket. Yeah, so I'm curious if you get like an upgrade, something else. Or maybe it's just, oh, I see. So it's saying you would get that card. So if you have Kinetic Assault, which is this guy right here, and it just says 1, then maybe you get to level 2, and then you get Dirt Tornado as well. I don't know. I have to look up that part. I don't remember too much about that. Then, of course, we have... Oh, they changed the name. It's not Brute. It's now Bruiser, which I was pretty sure it was Brute before. I could be wrong on that. Spellweaver, I got that one right. Tinker, oh man, coming up. Mind Thief. Silent Knife. Okay, that's definitely not the same name. So that's still a mystery, as what it was. And then there's this scenario deck here, and I think that's what all these cards are. So I don't want to, like, you know, look at all of this, but I'll just show you. There's the scenario deck. So I don't think you're supposed to look at this. The only thing I'd probably look at is the last one, which is your reference sheet, which I mentioned earlier, right? This will help you out. That way you don't need to spend an entire session trying to remember what everything is. That's it. I mean, there's not a lot. Let's see if I can show it down here without throwing off my whole camera. I mean, I took out every single component, but I'm not even going to use this much when I play, you know, by myself. So this looks like a fantastic, great, small, solo type of session. Definitely going to give this a try and see. I don't think it's, let's see, I think it's like 20 sessions. Yeah, scenario 20 is like the last one. So it's very small. 20, you know, I mean, if each one takes you, what's the box say? The box says it will take you about 20 minutes. So 20 minutes at 20 of those, that's 400 minutes. What are we talking about? Like just over like 7 hours or something. So it's not long at all. Pretty short, but you know, hey, you're getting a very condensed but well-designed game. I really like what they did with the components here. Keeping it simple, but looks like they have a lot of the heart of Gloomhaven. So anyway, yeah, maybe I'll do like a review or something once I can get some gameplay in. I don't usually do reviews. That's partially more just a personal preference than really any other reason, but you know, maybe I'll do it here. But anyway, that is it for today. Hope you guys liked my unboxing here of Gloomhaven Bugs and Buttons. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you at the next one.